Fox Business Alert tomorrow night. The winner of Game 7 between the San Antonio Spurs and the Oklahoma City Thunder won't just solidify whom the New York Knicks face off against in the NBA Finals, but could very well crown a new MVP of advertising. With the Knicks on a torrid 11 consecutive game win streak and heading to their first NBA Finals since 1999, advertisers are totally salivating at the opportunity to get their brands in front of what could be a record-breaking audience. It's more than that, though. The return of a marquee franchise that plays in the nation's biggest TV market comes just days before the World Cup spotlight shines on the tri-state area. Joining me now on how advertisers have to now do so much more than just count on viewership and eyeballs is Kevin Krim, President and CEO of EDO, which tracks and measures advertising engagement across 120 linear and streaming TV operations and networks?
That's right.
Big span of people and networks that you have to look at. So ahead of the Knicks game and against whoever wins tomorrow night, what are you seeing and hearing from advertisers as they begin to understand it's got to be more than just throwing up a 30-second spot?
This is not just a huge win for Knicks fans. It's a huge win, Liz, for advertisers who've committed to the NBA Finals. It's a huge win for Disney and ABC, who are the owners of the NBA Finals. And it's just a big win for the NBA overall.
But a big win when you're talking about advertisers. Like we said, it used to be, oh, let's just look at the Nielsen ratings. What is EDO doing that takes it a bigger step further when it comes to ad, viewership, then engagement during and after the ad?
What advertisers always want to achieve is reaching the right audience and then engaging them with their brands and products, selling stuff to those people. And what we do at EDO is understand, as people see ads, how do they engage with those devices that they inevitably have at their fingertips? They search for the brand, they go to the brand's website, they look up that product on increasingly a chatbot like ChatGPT. And those interactions are predictive of people eventually going and buying whatever they just saw an ad for.
So are you looking through what, search, social, site visits, the website visits? How about downloads? Give me a sense of how you measure engagement and through what channels.
Right. So EDO has access to huge numbers of people who've opted in to have their lives tracked, and they get rewarded for that through panel partners that we get data from. Mm-hmm. And what we see is, as people see ads, they have normal behavior every day. They're looking at brands like Toyota or State Farm or AT&T, and then suddenly they see an ad for one of those brands, and then there's a spike in engagement, or it could be days later. But we're picking up all those changes in those engagements with those brands, and as you look at that on a per-person basis, you can understand that an ad was more or less effective in the context of where it was seen.
Can you normalize across different categories? Say, for example, there's a car ad versus a QSR ad, and can you then evaluate on comparable terms between those two?
That's exactly what we do, and it's really important that you do that so that you can really compare not just the type of ad being shown, the type of program, live sports, live news, scripted entertainment. Those are all different contexts for an advertiser to think about where the best place to put their ad campaigns would be.
What about linear versus streaming? I'm very interested to know, say, for example, you have perfect example during the finals, not the actual finals that are coming up now, but during the championships of different areas. You had NBC linear airing finals games versus Peacock streaming. Mm-hmm. So do advertisers get meaningfully, I guess, different engagement outcomes from both of those?
They do. The biggest distinction is live and not live. We see that live events, whether it's sports, news, or other event television, those drive the biggest differences in engagement. You tend to just attract larger audiences, but they're more engaged with not just the content, but the ads. And then on streaming, you get the added benefit of the ability to do some hyper-targeting of who sees the right ad at the right moment. And so that additional targeting does elevate the engagement rates on a per-person basis even higher than linear.
These are EDO clients. Everyone. Disney, Fox, of course, the parent of our Fox Business Network. You've got Comcast, Netflix, Amazon, ABC.
That's right.
Of course, includes Disney, I would imagine. And do they pay you? How are you making money?
They're paying us on a basically a subscription basis all year long, similar to how they would pay a Nielsen as well. And we're also working on behalf of the brands. We're really trying to be a neutral and independent arbiter of what's working. And when you find out what's working best, you can really get a win-win for both the seller and the buyer.
Who does it best? Who is doing it correctly to not just put out an ad, but then to spur engagement?
Well, some of the best brands out there are those data-driven brands, but they understand that TV is a branding medium and a performance medium. And so they create ads. The creatives themselves are creating ads that are really telling stories of brand and emotion and are driving value and driving people to engage with those brands. And those are brands that can be as different as AT&T or USAA Dunkin' Donuts or Taco Bell. I mean, it is really, it varies a lot.
How much variation are you seeing ahead of Fox Sports carrying FIFA World Cup? That is a whole different panoply of opportunities for many advertisers. Are they picking for different countries, and are different brands kind of focusing and customizing? Well,
the World Cup is the world's largest sporting event, and it really does engage such a diversity of audiences, and so marketers have a lot more palette, if you will, to work with creatively of all the different targets that they can go after as far as audiences and the stories they can tell with talent, because there's so much talent, stars of the sports that they can draw from. There's international athletes, there's the US team, and those are all options for marketers to tell stories. And Fox, of course, has this great opportunity to put on such a grand show over these weeks of this tournament.
Well, and as we finish up with this new world of advertising where you're not just looking for viewership, but you need follow-through engagement, what is the number one thing that you've learned that advertisers shouldn't do?
Well, what they shouldn't do is apply the same strategy across all of the variety of TV. Live sports at the right moment is wildly successful at driving engagement, but it's also the most expensive things on TV, right? And so you're paying a premium. You have to understand what's the right moment in live sports. And so if you have the chance to have the Knicks in the NBA Finals for the first time in a long time, and you've got the right kind of new product or the right campaign, and there's happens to be an open slot, there's a lot of them have already been bought long ago in the upfronts. The price would be, you know, the average, I'd say, and this is not our main business, but you know, you hear from the industry that it's, you know, anywhere from $500,000 to $1 million for 30 seconds if you've committed up front. But if you have a chance to, at the last minute, swoop in for some open slots, you could be paying multiples of that because you've got the Knicks with a hugely passionate fan base, exciting competition on the world's, you know, one of the world's better stages.
We got a few Spurs fans on our team who are wildly, wildly super fans. It's great to see you, Kevin, and good luck with EDO.
Thanks, Liz.